my lovelies, and welcome to our first official Spooktober episode. Yeah, stuff, things, cool, whatever. So welcome to our new Spooktober episode. Today I am going to be doing a wee time-lapse video from a process of creating one of my centerpieces, my dream catcher. So this is just going to be the process of me designing that centerpiece. And really, I think I'm just going to jump right in. So yeah, like there's a ring here, and I think it might actually, I'm not sure, so I'm just going to skip this piece of paper and jump over here. So I've just grabbed a pencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to allocate some space here. That's the same shape and size as the actual centerpiece. And once I've played with a couple of ideas, I'm going to draw it into here. Now my idea here is to really, I feel like dream catchers have this very spiderweb-esque property, and I thought that maybe I could do a dream catcher with a spider in the middle. Something a bit more creepy. What are you doing here, cat? Are you chasing flies? Oh, good girl. So I was thinking about maybe drawing a spider in the middle of this and seeing how it goes. So let's have a go. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need some reference material, which is why I've got my tablet here to look up some reference images, but I think let's have a go just drawing one off the bat and see where my spider skills are, because I kind of have an idea what I want this to look like. So let's take maybe this space up here. Apparently I'm not terrible at drawing a skull without thinking about it. It's just the spider anatomy I'm having difficulty with. But yeah, I'm thinking doing something very, it's almost cliche I think, but I want to get that. Honestly, I just think this would be something fun to do with my pyrography tool, and I want to see if I can get it right, because insects are just so fun to do with a good peppling technique, and I want to be able to do good insects because I enjoy drawing insects. And I thought for a Spooktober episode, a spider with a skull might be a good shout. I'm not sure where his nose is supposed to go, maybe there's just something going on here. Not sure. So maybe it's worth just drawing a spider from a bird's eye view to get an idea of how many joints it has and what kind of sizes they are. This one's quite gnarly, but nothing I'm really hugely thinking about. This one might be quite interesting to draw. And let's see what's on this second page. Hairy spiders. That's exactly what you want, isn't it? Spider on your face. But maybe I'll have a go at sketching this tarantula from top down. I like this one. I really, really like that one. That is what I was actually looking up online, was the Black Widow, but I couldn't get a good photo. So I'm gonna do a wee sketch of that, I think. It's quite long, so. Okay. So I think I'm going to do a very right. I'm happy with my spider experimenting there. I'm happy with my body here. So I think what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to do a very symmetrical style spider. We're going to come down over onto here, but that should be alright. What's up, pussycat? Right, so let's begin to measure things out here, because I have quite a strong idea of what I'm doing now. There is nothing useful in that. It appears I have lost my ruler. I will go have a look for it presently. So now I'm going to do some math to make sure I get my centers and my circles, etc. Right? So I won't bore you by explaining it. Well, I can actually. So if you were to draw a line anywhere between two parts of a circle and then mark the middle of it, and then a line perpendicular to that line will always pass through the centre of the circle. Right, it does seem that my GoPro has run out of battery. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to finish up marking out my mock. And then sketch that, because this will just be a rough draft, so I'm then going to sketch that onto the paper and we can have a play with the stippling, etc. that I will be doing to draw this on the wood with my pyrography tool. So we're just going to take a moment now and I'm going to charge my camera and then get back to you. Hello my lovelies, and we are back. For you it is now the next day. For me it's now the next day. For you guys, you will have just seen that my GoPro ran out of battery. So I have been charging it overnight. I have been working on this mock-up design. I've been playing with it a bit. And I have come to the conclusion that I quite like this. I feel this is what I'm going for. The only problem is I drew this, I loved this, and now it is too big. And I really wish it was just the right size, because then I wouldn't have to draw it again. I'll still have to draw it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this. I think, see, I'm very tempted just to take this page out. very tempted to just rip this page out so I can work with these side to side. I'm gonna do it, I think. I don't like taking the pages out of notebooks for, I don't know, some reason. I'm not entirely sure what the reason even is. Alternatively, I can't do that other alternatively thing because, okay, let's just take the leap here and do that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I now have my different focuses here. I like this guy. Now I want this guy about here. Now I'm just wondering, do I want to do it this size, which is the size that I will be burning onto this. I'm not going to do that today. But I will be burning this design onto this. So I don't want to do it this size so I can practice it small. Or do I want to do it big? I think I need to get it the right size for this. There's a lot of crashing about going on today. I'm not quite sure what is going on. So I feel like the top of the skull is about halfway. So I've just watched Nightmare Before Christmas because it's October and it's Halloween and I have Disney Plus and I've not been able to watch it for years, so it's not on anything, and I am not really one for physical copies, not because I have anything against physical copies, I move around a lot, so having physical copies of movies and TV shows are just, it kind of feels pointless. But I'm just going to lose or break them. So this skull here actually took me longer than I anticipated it would take me to draw a skull. Mainly because I'd say I'm out of practice when it comes to drawing skulls. But now that I have one down, like I can do something basic like this or this, but actually detail. This is terrible. Isn't the easiest thing. And skulls live in this weird little limbo where you both want them to be symmetrical, and also if they are symmetrical they'll look weird. I'm also not sure what I'm going to do about these eyes on this spider creature. Because here I've just, you know, drawn them in. Maybe if I leave them like that, it looks like they're taking up more space. I really don't like this skull as much as this skull, but that's just because I've not shaded it yet. Shading is ridiculously important before you get down onto it. I just feel like all my art is off because the tones aren't right and there's just lines everywhere. Right, no more. No more. Instead we will focus on the spider legs. So I've come to the conclusion that the trick to the spider legs is getting the joints all the right proportions with each other. So what did I research for this? I looked up how spiders' legs are articulated. I looked up some skull imagery, shading by Pepling. I also found, like, I'm aware that the whole spider with a skull for an abdomen was not an original idea, and I actually found quite a few tattoos utilising the same kind of creature, we shall say. But it's something that I personally have not done before, and I thought it would be interesting, I thought it would be fun. And I thought it would be a good start for our Halloween videos, spooktober videos. Now, originally I was thinking about doing some geometric style patternings around the spider, but now I'm just thinking with the size of it and the complexities of its legs, that adding extra stuff around it, I don't think it would work a huge deal. I could potentially still put the diamond in. But I've also been thinking about these little flies, and I quite like the little flies. So we shall see. Right now I'm focusing on legs. This is why I think it's important to draw out all the aspects of your design separately. Like you can see that I did my background focusing here, my skull focus was here, my legs, my first try of the legs was here. Obviously after I finished the skull I added in the thing, and each time you can see that my thing has grown, although this spider I did after this one and this one and this one, so it's just gone back to its basics again. Here is my final design. I will be trying to get everything right so I can actually put all the pieces together, really. Which means if I'm having a background, this is where I'll be putting it together. And then next what I'm going to do after I've drawn out these is I'm going to go over the top of my initial design in black fine liner, because I find that the contrast of the black fine liner and the paper is very similar to the contrast of the pyrography tool and the wood. So sadly this ain't going to be a video for the arachnophobes out there, Sorry guys. This whole... Yeah, if you look into my previous videos, there's a very similar mini-series to this, but with a unicorn instead of a scary spider. So if you want to get an idea of what I'm doing here without the creepy artwork, then feel free to go through my old videos and find my unicorn, making of my unicorn dream catcher. It's actually hanging up there at the moment. But for those of you who don't mind the odd creepy crawly, I personally am a big fan of the creepy crawlies. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get some inspiration as well, because I find that anything that is an invertebrate, trying to draw it can be so difficult because of the differences in their limbs. But I would absolutely love to see some of your invertebrate drawings. So if you draw spiders or scorpions, or even things like crabs, because crabs are cool, and send them to me on my Facebook page, I will show them off and stick them at the end of my next... Yeah, that's the thing I'll do. So, something I've not really spoken about here is that this is going to be a... I can't remember if I mentioned this yesterday when filming or not, but this is going to be a wee mini-series within the Spooktober event. So a couple of the videos over the next month. Like I said guys, I'm going to try and do more videos than normal for you this month because of the spooky theme. I am just hoping that I can keep that promise for you guys. You can already see I have blatantly failed at dressing up. Yesterday I did have a bit of a Alice in the Wonderland themed outfit on. Today I am just in my comfies. But hey, I sat inside and ordered pizza and watched Nightmare Before Christmas. However, I'm still here making a video for you guys, so it can't be that bad. But yes, this is going to be a multi-part video. So today I'm just doing the design for my centerpiece on this one. I have got my colours picked out. There will probably be a second episode of me doing the centerpiece, creating that, because it will take more time than this will do. Maybe threading, and then either, depending on how quickly I get things done and how quickly bits arrive, because I am waiting on some bits arriving for this, I will also be talking about threading and my process of choosing the colours and sorts. But today we're just going to focus on this centerpiece design. Now, see, I'm kind of thinking about putting in a diamond here. I can maybe do a second one. Moss came through early and I was like, why don't you draw a web? And I was like, because I don't want to draw a web. I don't like the diamonds. I think I've decided against the diamonds. At the beginning of this, the diamond seemed like a good idea. For those of you who are paying attention, there was a diamond here that I've just completely rubbed out and gone over with these little flies. I like the little flies as well. They're a whole different kind of simple. I feel like symmetry is so difficult to draw, and it's so pleasing to the eye, but it's so tricky. It's the eyeliner problem, you know. As good as your eyeliner looks, you're never going to get exactly the same thing on the other side of your face. Hence why I just stopped wearing eyeliner. But it's frustrating because you know you can do it. You just need to do it at the other angle the same. And I think that's the frustrating bit, because it's exactly the same as something you've already done. And yet it seems so very hard. So how's that? I think that's good. I think I like that. I think I like that quite a lot. So time to do a second night. Now I was going to do this in black, but I am just wondering if I'd like to do it in a dark brown instead. I think I do also have that crimson, which is quite nice, but it's not that dark. So I think we'll just do it in black today. Play it safe. So that pen's working fine. So let's get started. So technically this is just tracing, I suppose, going over the lines, reinforcing the lines, I'm not sure. But because of that, I feel like my layout is pretty good, and I want to make sure I get the detailed things first, because then I can, like, the important bits done. Now, I'm thinking also, because I'm planning on doing this with a peplum type technique, so getting all the detail lines in first, and then starting to do my shading afterwards with a bit more care, seems like a shout. I totally jumped ahead of myself there and started with the peppling straight up. There was no reason why, I just kind of wanted to see how it looked. And because I'd already outlined that whole area, it seemed like a good area to check it out with. And I am instantly remembering, like, every single time I decide that this is the technique I want to use for my shading, that I hate it. Oh my gosh. It's just every single dot is one single point, and you have so much space to fill, and most of it needs to be at least partially filled. And wow, does it drive me insane. So this could take a while. I do think I'm going to make a choice here to just fill in the eyes of the skull completely. I have been thinking back and forth on this one, because the eyes in a skull are very seldom entirely black, but this isn't necessarily a skull, as it may be just the, you know, markings on the back of an insect. So does it need to be as perfectly accurate, or would it be more just dark around certain areas? maybe I'll have to scan this design in and clean it up a bit and use it for, you know, not just a dream catcher, but maybe print it onto stickers and or, I don't know, what do people print things onto nowadays? Phone cases? Badges? T-shirts? Comment below on what item you would purchase that had this design on it. Let's see if we can make this a reality, folks. And then you can decide you don't want to purchase it anyway. But I'd definitely be interested to hear what kind of things you would be interested in me creating with my artwork on, as opposed to my artwork on its own. Like I said previously, that I am working on getting my Redbubble up. I have made the account, it's sitting there, I have my scanner, I have my laptop, everything is ready to go, and I have no idea what types of things people might want. So let's see what you guys think. I am interested. Let me know. I actually really like spiders. I am not even in the slightest scared of them. They don't worry me. Obviously, I live in a country where spiders are very seldom something to worry about anyway. However, I have spent some time in some countries where that's not so much the case. Redbacks, for example, were a daily hazard, and redbacks are just, well, they're very similar to black widows, but they are everywhere in Australia, and honestly, we just fed them to the bearded dragons because they enjoyed eating redbacks. They didn't, you know, eating the venomous spiders wouldn't actually damage them, so it'll be a good, healthy, eco-friendly way to get rid of the dangerous beasties on the establishment, I shall say. But otherwise, spiders are pretty chill. I have held tarantulas a couple of times. They've never really freaked me out. My biggest concern usually is dropping them, because particularly with large spiders, their exoskeleton is so fragile that if you drop them, the actual spider itself will smash. And, you know, that's just murder, really. So I don't think I could ever have one as a pet for that reason alone. Snails, on the other hand, I totally want pet African land snails. I think they would be a really cool pet. They live for quite a long time. Excuse me. They, we used to have some at school in the science department, and they were very disappointing because they were new and therefore they weren't very big because they were young little snails. But I think they'd be such a cool, low maintenance pet. Anything that lives in a tank to me is a low maintenance pet. I know that that can be seriously untrue in many cases, but as someone that has worked with many reptiles, and I do quite find that reptiles are low maintenance pets. Fish, on the other hand, fish seem less maintenance than they actually are. Reptiles seem like more. But insects, I think, would be really cool. I really want a pet snail. I think it'd be cool. The slime that they give off apparently is really good for... It's a really good skin moisturiser for your hands. I think they'd enjoy living with all my plants, and they'd just be a nice addition to my studio. A low maintenance friend. And I like snails. I like snails at the best of times. Those of you following my Facebook and or Instagram will know how much I like snails, because early in the mornings I take photos of them when they're migrating across my garden. So I think snails would be a really cool pet. One of my friends has offered to look into pet dragonflies for me. And when I say offered, she asked if it was something that I knew about or how it would work, etc. And I think it's a really cool concept, getting pet dragonflies into in a biodome, because it's like a lamp, but it's a biodome. So you've got plants in there and water in there, and it's its own mini ecosystem, of course. But my main concern is that in this climate, they just wouldn't survive. You wouldn't have enough heat for the, minerals to circulate. You wouldn't have much steam in there. But saying that, we still get steam here in our cars and stuff when it's particularly humid. The thing is, it's only for about a quarter of the year. The rest of the time it's cold, and we're getting to that time of year where it's just constantly cold, and I'm living in layers upon layers of hats and gloves and scarves, hence my very comfy, if not quite so fabulous outfit that I'm wearing today. It does include the penguin slipper socks, because who doesn't love penguins? I do love how I seem to spend hours upon hours upon hours on this bit here, which is just random sketches and me drawing lines and rubbing them out again. There seems to be an awful lot of drawing lines and then rubbing them out again, of trying to work out where things should go, where the symmetry is, how many higher than this thing should be, and if I'm adding geometric shapes, which I was initially planning to, behind the body of the spider, there's a whole another layer of how do I make sure these shapes are actually geometric, how do I make sure that they're lined up the right way and all the angles are correct. And I enjoy doing the math, and I enjoy working it out as well. It's amazing how quick the final part is when it actually comes to getting there. I feel like you're saying, oh no, could it possibly be my tail might be in the way? How is that possible? My tail doesn't get in the way. It's just there to look fabulous. So there we go. I am actually a lot more pleased than I thought I'd be with that. So here we are, from this little creepy-wee drawing to this sketch to this. And that's where we are, that's what we have today. So, as always, thank you for watching my latest video. This is the first in my... What am I even doing? Yes, I know, you want all my attention. So, thank you for watching my video. I am sorry if the cat has been too distracting. She's demanding my attention. So as I must go to give her what she demands, I will leave you with this. Spooky spider. I think I've annoyed her enough to go away. So as always, all my music links are in the description below. Subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. See how this drawing here becomes a Halloween, October themed, maybe autumnal themed dream catcher, because it will be soon. I am just waiting for some parts to arrive, and then I will put up the next part of this creative process up here. I have also got some other Spooktober themed videos coming up for you guys. But in the meantime, rock on, my lovelies. Stay safe.
Wow.